What's poppin', people? It's Dante going for my morning walk here in Philadelphia, standing at the intersection between order and chaos. And yeah, just thinking today about this notion of the eternal recurrence, the eternal return. There goes the train, here comes the cars. Where's the plane? I don't see any stars. And so the idea is simple. I've recently finished reading the Will to Power by Friedrich Nietzsche, and towards the end of the book he discusses this notion of the eternal recurrence or the eternal return. And I was thinking about this a lot the past couple of days since finishing the book because it resonated with me deeply. And when I think of the eternal return, I don't necessarily believe it to be this notion of repeating the same monotonous routine each and every day. However, I believe that life is filled with these multifaceted complexities, emotions, and experiences that will repeat over and over again, and we need to learn to champion them. You know, whether you feel up or down, good or bad, happy or sad, angry or glad, you know, these emotions and these feelings and experiences will be a vital part of our human experience while we're on this earth, and we may be most wise to simply champion them, right? Despite the way in which you feel. And so when you feel sad, you know, cherish that sadness as a critical aspect of the human experience, right? When you feel angry, you know, perhaps recognize that we are human and we have these emotional responses to stimuli. And perhaps with this notion of the eternal recurrence, I do too feel as though we should live in the moments that are fleeting to the fullest, right? So what that means is when you're feeling a certain emotion, when you're doing something specific, you know, really be there and be present and live each and every day like it's your last. And through that spirit of play, you know, perhaps is the best way in which we can live every single day, right? So when you think of a child, right, and a child playing a game, a child is playing the game voluntarily, right? They're willingly participating with their imagination, their creative spirit, and they're playing the game, right? However, in this modern world, as you get older, you take on the responsibilities of the world. I feel as though we are involuntarily playing the game itself, right? And because we're involuntarily playing the game, this is going to cause neuroticism. This is going to cause anxiety. This is going to cause people worrying about the future, worrying about numbers and money in the bank account. And so maybe when you detach yourself from these things and you simply return to this childlike state, you enter this flow state of abundance. I feel as though there's like, I don't know what the word to describe it is, but there's this like feeling you get where nothing really matters but everything does matter at the same time, where you kind of just let chaos flow through you and embrace it all, right? Sort of like a child does. And I think through that feeling and that spirit of play, you can go through each and every day in this newfound way where everything becomes meaningful. You know, all of the ways in which you feel, all of the experience that you have, you know, they all become very, very, very meaningful, no matter how monotonous or mundane they may seem. And the eternal return, for me, is about championing every day and doing everything in my power each and every day to work towards an unattainable goal that is beyond my reach. And through striving to reach that goal, whether it be through my artwork or, you know, photography, whatever it may be, I go onward into the unknown, knowing that each moment counts and that each moment that I'm working towards the goal, the process itself is what brings life the ultimate sense of meaning. And so if you were to live each day on loop, if you were to return to this moment, this feeling, this experience eternally, would you hold your head down? Would you have a frown on your face? You know, would you let the anger bubble up inside of you into outbursts? You know, would you moan and groan and revel in depression, bedridden? Or would you curb your anger and move onward with strife, championing the moments? You know, think of Sisyphus, right? Pushing his rock uphill eternally over and over again, punished by Zeus. Pain and suffering was his, you know, outcome in life. However, he learned to champion that. He learned to accept that fate. And I'm not necessarily saying that life is pain. Maybe life is war, and maybe war is pain. But I think when we learn to accept that pain, and we learn to accept that suffering, and we learn to accept the inevitable outcome, the fate of a human being, which is death itself, and we fear not of it, yeah, maybe then we become free and accept that possibility being any day, right? It could be your last today. So maybe we should just embrace the spirit of play and champion the moments that we have right now, right here. The eternal return. Amor fati. Memento mori. Ogni giorno una battaglia per la tua mente.